Farming, the cornerstone of human survival. To be a farmer is to plant, nurture, care and then give to others. When the Dowerin community came together back in the 1960s to raise funds to water the local football oval and tennis courts, by running a farm machinery field day, a tradition was started. A tradition that has grown to become one of Australia's leading farm events. Over the decades, the rapidly changing technology on display each year has been a showcase of an industry hungry to adopt the best.
Arthur Munyard and Bruce Miller were the actual instigators. They decided they'd go to Orange to see how they ran it over there. And they came back and said, I think we can do it and I think we can do it better. And they started the Dowerin Field Day.
And there was 3 or 4 of them started off, and it just grew from there. The way they started off was perfect.
Munyard.
Yeah, Munyard, Arthur
Munyard,
Munyard.
yes.
He was the instigator.
From a very small beginning in 1965, the Dowerin GWN Field Days event has expanded to become the most successful event of its kind in Australia. In 1996, the small wheatbelt community welcomed over 50,000 visitors to the 2-day event. The Field Days continue to provide an opportunity for manufacturers and distributors of farm machinery, allied equipment, rural service, information technology and arts and crafts to show by static display and comparative demonstrations the capabilities of their products before a representative gathering from all corners of Australia.
I first got involved when I was about 18 in, I think, 1967, and my job then was to stand down near the old pavilion and guide everybody onto a school bus to go down to the hall to see all the ladies' displays. And in between that, they used to bring the fellows in from the airport, so I then had to guide them as to where they went to. So that was my first job as fielder.
Well, I've been involved right from the beginning in different things to do with the field days. First one was the first aid tent, because there was no ambulance around then. So Maureen Maisie was an ex-nurse like I was, and we just had a tent that we used as a first aid tent.
I came to the first Field Days, and when we first started off, a lot of the machinery companies and that could bring a certain amount of stuff, but if we had a new tractor or a new plough, we'd bring it into town and demonstrate it for them, and stuff like that. And then setting up the Field Day site was a bit different to what they do today.
In the first year, the allied machinery was a small percentage of the gear, but later on the smaller companies noticed what chance they could have to display their allied equipment, so they were coming, and nowadays there's quite a lot of it.
Behind the scenes in the Field Days office near the Oval, a busy executive committee and a full-time secretary work throughout the year preparing for the 2-day event, as this year's president, Ian Rackham, tells.
We would spend virtually 12 months. Once we finish this field day, we'll start planning next year's. So it's a 12-month operation. The executive committee is 7, and the full committee would be about 40 people.
The whole community, including the local high school students who make up the environmentally friendly swag bags, becomes involved in the event. Those who give their time receive payment, which the office makes to their particular organisation, so the whole town benefits from the Field Days. Static Marshal Peter Munyard, who's in charge of preparing the display blocks, explains how the grounds are prepared and preserved.
It takes about 3 days to mark the grounds out. I have 3 chaps to help me as assistants. The hardest part is the oval and the hockey oval. The big machinery blocks are marked with chemicals, so the lines are there from one year to the next. But the hockey oval has got to be marked, and the football oval have to be marked with a lime each year, so the football club don't like the chemical on their oval.
The area used for the event has grown in size from 10 acres or 1.5 hectares to 37 hectares.
7, been involved with the field days right from then, mainly with the crane. We used to crane all the machines in and crane all the machines out, and then in between that, on the days of the field days, I worked in the burger bar, which was like a 6 metre by 6 metre shed that we used to do the burgers in there. I think we used to do about 500 burgers over the 2 days. It's being a part of the community. I think without the volunteers, and you get to work with other people that sometimes you never ever get to see or to work with, and you set up a bond between those people, and it's like we have at the burger bar. At the height of the day, we have 27 people working in there, and they're all volunteers, and just to be a part of the community
in the region. The outstanding efforts from all members of the community in contributing their time, energy and expertise ensures that visitors to the event enjoy a well-organised, professionally managed event that by their contribution directly benefits the town, its shire and all sporting and community service clubs or associations. The Dowerin GWN Field Days, a growing part of the fabric of Western Australia.
I've probably been involved for 40 plus years, I suppose. I can remember going to the first one in 1964. My first role was on the original catering committee, would you believe? Shirley and I were both on it. Joan and Roger Crossman. Roger was the president. Thelma Hatwell was one of the originals. Queenie Hagburn was another one. And I'm pretty sure Robbie Hagburn is in that photo. Iris Etherton. No, a lot of them are no longer here. Yeah, and we used to have meetings at our place. That was in 2 Anderson Street those days.
Get together a group of older people that aren't able to stand and do the catering, and they formed what they called a dream team, and we got all the exhibitors packs ready and delivered them out to the people just a couple of days before field days.
Working at the field days, my first memory was in catering, driving Ian Richards' old single axle international truck with a wheat bin on it to the Gamelling footy club to pick up rolls and sandwiches where they were all made, and then I would turn around and bring them all back to here to be delivered. You'd slide them in the back and roll the roll tarp on. Yeah, drive. That is my first memory actually.
I think the most memorable would have been when I first started with the sausage sizzle, because we didn't know how it would go, we didn't know how we'd set it up, or what, we just went in blind.
It's a legacy. I guess the people that are still here working at the field day feel that legacy, and we need to keep it going, and it's a great testament to the people that come before us that started it up, like the John Metcalfs of the world and the initial people that started it.
Being a part of the community is being involved in whatever you can be involved in.
I love to help people, and if you volunteer, it will help them out in some way.
You actually have a piece of it in your heart.
It's just in your DNA when you live in Dowerin.
I think it's just the people, and you're doing something for your town, and you're really doing something for yourself too, because you're part of the town.
I love it, I love it. I might get grumpy, well I guess that's a bit to do with age, but I love being involved.
Today, the Dowerin Machinery Field Days remain strong with a continued community ethos. It's an event the town is quite rightly very proud of, and the event will continue to support regional communities through its activities. To the volunteers past, present and no longer with us, thank you for your role in this special journey. We look forward to another 60 years.